We're starting. I think we are good to go. Hello, everyone. Olivia Reiner here for Packers News, joined by Pete Doherty here at US Bank Stadium, where the Packers have a pretty big opportunity ahead of them. If they win tonight, they win the NFC North, and they put themselves in pretty good position to either be the 2 seed or even, gosh, Pete, if the stars really align for them, could be the number 1 seed.
That would be unbelievable, and it's, there was a real chance for it now with the Seahawks with all those running backs out. That's looking a lot less likely now, but you never know what the Seahawks playing the 49ers next week.
Yes, but if they do win out for the rest of their games, both here in Minneapolis and on the road in Detroit, they are guaranteed the number 2 seed, which means a first-round bye.
Yeah, big stuff. First-round bye, guys can't get hurt when they're not playing, so you avoid injuries. Your opponent's playing, they might lose somebody, and your first game's at home in the divisional round. So I think especially with this team, home field is huge.
It is. Who wants to play at Lambeau Field in January?
Nobody does. And
I don't play football, not me.
We don't even want to be down there for pregame.
Absolutely not. But we will. We always will. But who knows? We don't know where we're going to be. They don't know where we're going to be. We'll find out after the next couple of games, guys. So hello to you guys in our Facebook chat. I'm going to pull you up right now.
Should we do the inactives while we're...
Yeah, okay. Everybody's in here. The party has started. Hello, everybody. Yes, so before we take your questions over there, Pete, we have this lovely tradition where you read our inactives for the game, so why don't you do that right now?
I need my readers.
I'll help you.
So the usual, Ryan Grant, the Ryan Grant mystery continues.
Yes, it does.
Dexter Williams, Tony Brown inactive 3rd straight game, I believe you said. Kadar Holman, Alex Lights, Justin, how do you say his last name?
His first name is John. John Leglu.
So they just picked him up a few days ago.
Yes, tackle that they signed off the Saints practice squad on the 53-man roster now.
And a little bit of a surprise, I think Jay Sternberger is not up today.
Yeah, so the Packers will be rolling with 3 active tight ends instead of having 4 with Sternberger, which is something they've been doing the last couple of games. But either it's a matchup thing, a health thing. They do have tackle Jared Veldier up for the first time this season.
I mean, you got to think it's probably a matchup thing and a game plan thing. Nothing's leaping to a mind immediately as to why, but there's got to be a reason for it.
Yes, and as you mentioned, the Ryan Grant debacle continues. The wide receiver who the Packers signed back when Devontae Adams had a turf toe injury is inactive once again. Considering all the struggles that the Packers have had at consistency at the wide receiver's position, you would think, gosh, a veteran player like Ryan Grant, who has played in a similar offense in the past, why wouldn't they give him a shot and put him in a game for once?
You would think any receiver on the 53 would have gotten a chance by now. That's what you would think. And it's tough to get a straight answer on the Packers about it. So the mystery continues, and maybe they'll have an injury sometime in the next couple of weeks, and we'll see him in the playoffs.
Yes, and also worth noting, Dean Lowry, defensive lineman, is active. He was the only player questionable heading into the game today, and he'll be playing for the Packers. He'll be a part of a run defense that has struggled this season, has performed very well against the Chicago Bears like they did last week.
Yeah, last couple of weeks they've been better.
It has been better, but the Packers will be facing a Vikings offense that is without Dalvin Cook, its Pro Bowl running back.
And you have to assume they're still going to try to run the ball. That's the whole reason they brought in Kubiak. Their whole offense is based around not putting too much on Kirk Cousins to get the most out of him. But no Dalvin Cook is huge, and we'll be announcing going over our picks at the end. But as soon as I made my pick, I regretted it, although I probably would have either way. So I have no idea who's going to win this game.
Yes, worth noting, Alexander Mattison, the second-string running back, we do not know what the status of him is yet. He was questionable heading into the game today. A guy who's been dealing with an injury that is escaping me at the moment, but regardless of whether or not he plays, you'd imagine he's on some sort of snap count for the game today.
You would think so. That's the way they usually do it, but then I thought, Ibrahim Campbell would be on a big snap count after missing a year, basically, and he wasn't, so who knows?
Some people defy the laws of physics and science. Let's just start with Dan's question here in the Facebook comments. He asks, what are the keys for Packers victory? I feel like a broken record. We say this every single week, but goodness gracious, the Packers really need to get Aaron Jones involved in this offense. And if there's ever a time to make sure he touches the ball over 20 times, I mean, that would be really a minimum.
Is your name Eric Baranchek?
Is that an Eric thing?
Eric and I were talking on the phone at about 4 o'clock today, and those were basically the first words out of his mouth.
Aaron Jones?
Get the ball, got to run the ball, get the ball to him. Time to take the leash off, give him at bare minimum 20 touches, and 25 wouldn't be outlandish. I still am in the camp that they were really smart to limit his touches all season.
Sure.
But now with what's at stake, it is time to, you just got to play week to week now. So it's get him the ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're facing a very strong Vikings defense, especially the one that's pretty good at stopping the run. And gosh, even the passing game as well. I think of a guy like Eric Kendricks, really strong linebacker.
Very good player.
Will be trying to shut Aaron Jones down all night.
Another guy to watch is keep an eye on Harrison Smith, number 22. They like to bring him up to the box a lot. And I was talking with a coach from another team this week, and they said he excels at playing cat and mouse, where sometimes he blitzes or stays up and plays the run. Sometimes he bails, and he's really good at waiting and still being able to bail and get to the back end of the defense. So, you'll be able to see this on the TV screen. Keep an eye on him and how they block him and how many tackles he's making in the run game.
Reese says that Jair Alexander needs to be locked down on the island tonight. I think Jair Alexander has been having a really remarkable season so far, and they're going to need him out there with the weapons they have at receiver, and Thielen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I was trying to think back to the opener. I can't remember if they matched him up with Diggs or not. That would be my guess is they'll do that, but don't know it for a fact. But it would make sense because Diggs is a smaller, quicker guy, and Thielen's just a little bigger, and so maybe have Kevin King on him.
Yeah, be interesting to see how they use Kevin King tonight. He's been a little sporadic, a little all over the place.
Yeah.
He's been battling through some injuries, but he is active tonight. They're going to need him to be on top of his game.
Yeah, and Tramon Williams too, all of them, and Kyle Rudolph's a good tight end. A lot of that responsibility will probably fall to Savage and Amos to cover him.
Yeah, a lot of people. Jerron, will Aaron Rodgers have a good game tonight? Dan wants to know, will Aaron Rodgers show up tonight?
He will show up.
Yeah, he's certainly here. He's in the building, so that's important.
That's the big question. For the first 8 or 9 years of his career, he was just killed in domes. And it started in 2010 when they went down to Atlanta and won a divisional round game, and Atlanta had the best record in the league or in the NFC, and he played unbelievable. He was just great in the circumstances, the environment where there's no wind, where the footing's great, and he was really quick. But now we're talking about a guy who's 36 years old and he doesn't move quite as well. And his dome record has gone down in the last 3 or 4 years. I think he's about 500 now. So we'll see which Aaron Rodgers shows up tonight.
Well, listen, dome, turf aside, the turf isn't what makes this stadium difficult to play.
It's the noise, yeah.
It's the crowd noise, and you might be
able
to hear it
right
now. Yeah, there's lots of screaming fans in the stands right now. This is going to be tough for the Packers, a tough environment for them to play in. But as we know, Aaron Rodgers has mastered the silent count.
Our good friend way back when, Rob Domofsky, did a story about the Metrodome and the noise there, and he spoke with I don't know if it was a hearing doctor or a psychologist or a sports psychologist, but anyway, think about when you're driving into a city that you're not familiar with, you take an exit, and you don't really know where you are, what's the first thing you do? You turn down the sound on the radio. So the noise makes it really hard to think, and that's one of the big things you have to overcome in these noisy places, whether it's any dome in the league or in Kansas City, for instance.
All right, well, let's discuss the QB on the other side. So Kirk Cousins, conversely, Monday Night Football has not been kind to him.
That's
on the
unbelievable.
big stage.
Yeah.
Has not won any of them. He's 0-8.
0-8, I think, yeah.
My goodness, that does not bode well.
That seems kind of freakish almost. Like I don't know if that's a statistical anomaly or if the guy just tenses up. I don't know has he ever won a playoff game? I don't think he has.
He hasn't won against a team with a winning record this season, which I think is pretty shocking.
It is. So I suspect he is well aware that he hasn't won on Monday night. I'm sure reporters have made it known to him and asking him about it. So I bet that's got to be a weight on his shoulders.
Yeah. Natashan says Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a beast. Don't throw it to him high and away and expect him to catch it. He should have had that first catch in the game against the Chicago Bears. There's no question about that. I talked to Alvis Wooded about that play this week, and he was like, I think if he had that opportunity again, he would make that catch. But that being said, will he have that opportunity again? We've seen time and time again with MVS that when he gets the one target, he'll get one look, and if he does not execute, that's it. It's good night. He doesn't get another target for that game. He has to show up the first opportunity he has the chance to.
Do I remember right? Like he played, was it 7 or 8 snaps last week?
7 or 8
snaps,
it was
less.
target.
It was less than 10. That's really, the one thing with this team is you never know which guy other than Adams is going to get the ball thrown to him, and a lot of that is the way the defense plays, and then whether he catches the ball. So maybe it's Kumaro, maybe it's Geronimo Allison who's had his drop issues this year. Who knows what might be?
Yeah, we've got TK in here. Says Kumaro more or less than 5 catches. 5 sounds high.
5 is a lot.
Yeah, but I would say, listen, 5 targets might not be out of the question.
Yeah, and you never know how the game is going to go. I still think they're going to end up running the ball a lot. I wonder if this will be a 50-50 run-pass game for the Packers. So I would, just guessing, I'd go the under on Kumaro, so I guess you can bank on it being over now.
Yes. All right, where are we right now? How long have we been doing this? Let's see what else we got here.
I almost said we're in the Metrodome, but we are not in the Metrodome.
Yes, we've got Eric asking if the Packers can run the ball against the Vikings defense. It is our Eric. Hello, our Eric. I guess he joined us a little bit late because we did touch on this a little bit already.
Yeah, he promised me he was going to be on from the start, but like as I said earlier, that's what that was the main topic of conversation that I had with him this afternoon. And the one thing I wonder is if will they really emphasize Jones, or will they still get Jamal Williams out there for 25 snaps? Remains to be seen.
That I don't know. Brennan says the Packers should use Vitale more and often in 3rd and short.
I don't disagree.
Kind of disappeared a little bit.
I don't disagree. You know that what they used to do with John Kuhn was on those 3rd and 4th and shorts is they'd line him up really close to the quarterback for those quick hitting handoffs instead of having him a couple of yards back. I'm surprised LaFleur hasn't put that in his offense, because that was money for Mike McCarthy, and I've got to think Vitale is at least as good a running back as John Kuhn was.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Eric also wants to know, Pete, can Robert Tonyan break out? They certainly would like to see that from him. He has shown that he can be a very reliable receiver in certain situations, and without, we know Jay Sternberger today. Not that Sternberger has been used as a receiver yet, but I'm sure Tonyan will receive some attention in the passing game.
Yeah, I would think he's going to get a lot of snaps. And I was going to say, but Sternberger's blocked pretty well, so keeping him out I wouldn't think would be a run game part of the game plan. So I'm not sure why Sternberger is down today.
Again, I think it might be a matchup thing.
Yeah.
We'll find out perhaps after the game.
Maybe they're going to play Vitale a lot. Could be maybe a lot of two-back stuff is in the game plan.
That's true.
There we go.
We haven't seen a lot of two-back stuff.
No, I kept, after the early training camp, I thought, this guy's going to play a lot. And he's played a decent amount, I think, like 15% of the snaps, something like that. But I thought it was going to be in the 20s for sure.
All right, well, why don't we transition into our predictions portion? I'm going to just be right back real quick, you guys. I've got some fun headwear for us, or for me. Here, Pete, I'm actually going to have you hold my microphone.
I will. Yes, I refuse to partake in this.
All right, so I've got a friend, Kathy, over here. She was nice enough to give us some nice festive headbands for the holiday season, so thank you to Kathy. I just want you guys to know, Pete had the option of putting a headband on and he declined. Pete is no fun, so if you give him some maybe harassing comments, maybe he'll be persuaded.
I will not, but I'll just take him on the chin and we'll move on from there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, guys, we like to have fun here. So, for a fun, festive predictions, why don't we go into that? Pete, who did you choose for tonight?
So, Tom's out of the, 5 of us, or however many there are? I can't even know. Tom Silverstein and I were the only ones who took the Vikings, and I went 20-17, although Dalvin Cook is a big deal that he's not playing, and that could make a huge difference.
I pick the Packers, which would make sense if you and Tom were the only two to pick the Vikings. I believe my score was 23-20, so a close game. Packers have not been hanging a lot of points on any team, but especially in this game, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
But, Dalvin Cook, like you said, is a big factor in this, how this Vikings offense has progressed this season. He has turned them into a really good offense, but without him, I don't know what Kirk Cousins can do to make plays and make things happen.
Because the difference is the Vikings might end up with decent rushing stats, but it could very well end up being because the Packers aren't worried about their run game and everything's gamed around Cousins, whereas if Cook's there, you got to have your game plan to stop the run, which makes Cousins' life easier. So I'm still not going to change my pick.
We haven't talked a lot about Mike Boone, but he has been good for the Vikings when he's played. He hasn't played very much.
Not much, yeah.
He will be starting at running back today for the Vikings, third stringer.
They do a lot of two-back stuff. They use their fullback a lot, so I wonder if they'll do that tonight with Cook not playing. I don't know.
Listen, guys, it's tough to predict these things. I will say the Packers are 11-3, so they've won more than they've lost so far this season. It's been easier to pick them, even in scenarios when it doesn't seem like it's going to work out.
I haven't looked at what my record is, and I don't think I'm going to. I think I started about 1-3, I think. So.
I've done pretty well this season. Not going to flex on you.
Yeah, you should.
I've been pretty good. Not to brag. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us here for our lovely pregame show. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you come back after the game to hang out with us. We'll be wrapping up the game, breaking things down for you guys. As always, head over to PackersNews.com for all of your Packers news. Follow us on social media for live